බිස්කට් වේදිකාවට දැන් පැමිණි සීග්‍රගාමී රසේ මංචි පොටේටෝ ක්‍රැකර්. බිස්කට් වේදිකාවට දැන් පැමිණි සීග්‍රගාමී රසේ මංචි පොටේටෝ ක්‍රැකර්.
Making headlines tonight. Strike ends but effects live on. Petroleum employees report to work, commencing fuel distribution. But vehicles stall at fuel stations.
First at 9. This is Other Derana 24/7.
Also making headlines tonight, facilitating investment. What will be the future of the BOI?
In fact, it has to close.
It's not that bad. The information is not totally correct.
Minister Ravi Karunanayaka's fate. Minister S.B. Disanayake says President and Prime Minister to decide. Making history, Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital performs Sri Lanka's first ever leg transplant. Making headlines in news overseas, Trump's transgender ban. White House not yet decided on implementation. Good evening, I'm Indivari Amwat. Long queues and disgruntled motorists were a common sight in fuel stations today as well, despite the petroleum strike being temporarily called off yesterday. The managing director of Ceylon Petroleum Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited, Sanjeev Veerjayaratne, stated that nearly 450 bowsers loaded with fuel left the Kolonnawa and Muthurajawala terminals today.
The strike launched by the petroleum trade unions based on 3 demands were temporarily called off following a discussion with President Maithripala Sirisena yesterday. Yet long queues were seen at fuel stations in many parts of the country. However, the trade union cites that it will take up 3 days for the situation to return to normalcy. Meanwhile, the employees who were on strike were attacked by an unidentified group of people in the Kolonnawa area yesterday. Members of the Petroleum Trade Unions Collective organized a demonstration in front of the Fort Railway Station today in protest of yesterday's attack on the CPC employees. A complaint was also filed by a group of lawyers at the Human Rights Commission for not being allowed to visit the employees of the CPC in Valikada prison who were arrested yesterday.
If someone claims to have been attacked, they should file a complaint. But to my knowledge, there is no such complaint. If a complaint is filed, we will definitely investigate. Yes, if not, who is the victim? We make arrests based on video footage only when a complaint is filed. There was a fight between 2 groups. The police intervened and calmed the situation. The issue is who made this statement and where is the complaint. If the police did not allow a lawyer inside the police premises, then it's wrong.
Following yesterday's suspension of the petroleum strike, the All Ceylon General Port employees say that they will launch a strike on Tuesday together with the Petroleum Trade Unions Collective if the government fails to make the required amendments to the Hambantota Port Agreement. Meanwhile, various factions express their views on the petroleum strike.
We urge the government to bring the Hambantota Port under the Sri Lanka Ports Authority. If they try to hand it over without an amendment, CPC workers and the SLPA workers will not hesitate in moving for a trade union action. The President explained to us that our proposed amendments will be taken into consideration and we will arrive at a final decision after discussions with Ministers Malik, Arjuna and Mahin Samrasinghe. They were not present yesterday. We will come to a conclusion after discussing the matter on Tuesday in the presence of the President and the relevant ministers. Until then, we cannot put the public in trouble, so we suspended the strike.
We didn't shoot them. We perhaps used some water cannons on them. It's going to take a little while to settle, but it's a good way to settle. When the military went and took over the installations, people were happy. Said, finally, you're doing something.
It is the duty of the government to give the essential services to the people. Our main target is to have a discussion with the trade union and to resolve this problem in a friendly manner.
See the irony of it, they are protesting over something which doesn't belong to them as well. Hambantota oil tanks were given by the earlier regime and they never opposed it. So these areas don't even belong to these people. People use this to get something out of the government, so they make use of this freedom also.
Meanwhile, Parliament's attention was drawn to the action taken against members of petroleum trade unions who engaged in strike yesterday. Various parliamentarians expressed views for and against this.
අපේ විසින් මතු කරා වර්ජනයේ නියුතු සේවකයන්ට මැරියෝ දාලා පහර දෙනවයි කියන කාරණය ආණ්ඩු පක්ෂයේ හැමෝම කිව්වේ එහෙම සිද්ධියක් වෙලා නැහැ කියලා. නමුත් ඊයේ රූපවාහිනී නාලිකාවල අපි හොඳටම ඇස් වලින් දැක්කා කුඩුකාරයෝ දාලා පහර දෙන්න පටන් ගත්තා වෘත්තීය සමිති සමාජිකයන්. මරික්කාර්ගේ මැරියෝ මම රෑ 1 වෙනකන් වෙබ්සයිට් එක බැලුවා. එකම වෙබ්සයිට් එකවත් පහර දීම සිද්ධ වුණේ නැහැ. මම පැහැදිලිව බැලුවා.
අපිට ඊයේ 12 වෙනකොට මේ වැඩ වර්ජනය ඉවර කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න තිබුණා. නමුත් අවසනාවකට වගේ යම් යම් දේශපාලන අතගැසීම් නිසා මේක තවත් ඉදිරියට ගියා කියන එක මම කියන්න ඕනේ. අමතක කරන්න එපා හම්බන්තොට වරාය තියෙන තෙල් ටැංකි තියෙන්නේ තෙල් සංස්ථාවට නෙමෙයි. ඒවා ඉල්ල ගන්න ක්‍රමවේදයක් තියෙනවා. මේවා දැනුවත් කරලා කියලා දුන්නා.
ඊයේ අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමා පාර්ලිමේන්තුව නොමග යවුවත් කිසිම සිද්ධියක් නැහැ කියලා. අද වෙනකොට මුළු රටත් ලෝකයක් දන්නවා ජනාධිපතිතුමත් දන්නවා. වෘත්තීය සමිති නායකයෝ සියලු දෙනා අත්අඩංගුවට ගත්තා. ලැජ්ජා නැතුව සභානායකතුමා කියනවා එහෙම සිද්ධියක් වෙලා නැහැ කියලා. මහජන ආරක්ෂක පනත පැනවීම ඉල්ලාස් කරගන්න. අපි විරුද්ධයි. මැරයෝ ගහන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා පාක්ෂිකයන්ට තෝර ගැහුවේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා වෘත්තීය සමිති නියෝජිතයන්ට. ඒ කියන්නේ UNPන් තමයි මැරයෝ ඇහුවේ. අපි ගත්ත ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයට ජනතාවගේ සම්පූර්ණ ආශිර්වාදය තියෙන බව මතක් කරනවා. මුළු රටම ආණ්ඩුවට ප්‍රශංසා කරනවා.
මන්ත්‍රීවරු කීප දෙනෙකුත් එක්තරා කුඩු මාධ්‍යයකොත් තවත් සමාජ මාධ්‍ය ජාල කීපයකොත් ඊයේ කොළොන්නාව තෙල් සංස්ථාව අභියස සිදුවීම මගේ කරපිටින් යවන්න මාව මැරේක් කරන්න ගන්න උත්සාහය තරේ හෙලා දකින්න.
මරික්කාර් කියන මැරයාගේ ගෝලයෝ දාලා ගැහුවේ. එයා මෙයා නම් ඉතින් මට කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. මං කිව්වේ මරික්කාර් කියලා මැරයා කියන මන්ත්‍රී කෙනෙක් ගැන නෙමෙයි.
මරික්කාරතුමා නිර්දෝෂ කරානේ ඔබතුමා ගැන මෙහෙම කියලා නැහැ. ඔබතුමා කලබල වෙන්න එපා.
And the Ministry of Power and Renewable Energy announces some areas of the country will experience power shortages. Speaking to Derana, the media spokesperson for the ministry said that measures are being taken to minimize the effects of the power shortage.
Interruptions to the electricity supply were experienced in some areas of the country yesterday as well as this morning. The Ministry of Power and Energy cited the existing fuel shortage in the country and low water levels of reservoirs as contributory causes.
Ambulipitiya 100 megawatt of power plant. Yesterday we compelled to shut down the power plant because of lack of fuel for the power plant operation, and also 2 power plants are located in Pallekele, connected to the Pallekele grid substation, and also Gold grid substation connected from the power generation. And so at present one electricity generation unit 300 megawatt at Lapiya coal power plant also is being repaired. So we are facing some difficult situation to ensure power supply, the 24 hour. Anyway, we try to manage the available resources, available power plants to provide continuous power supply for the most of the areas.
Moving on to other local news, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says national peace and reconciliation needed for rapid development is created in the country. He made these remarks addressing the opening ceremony of the event for the 40 years of the 77 revolution organised by the National Youth Centre in Maharagama this evening.
We had to establish reconciliation in a country which did not have peace, although the war had ended. We have to work without separating the South and North to let Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim people work together. We have achieved that now. We sing the national anthem across the country and it is also sung in Tamil. We have to keep this up and not go backwards. This country had a huge debt. This was a country which did not have money to pay its interest. We had to take difficult measures such as increasing VAT, yet today the entire world asks us to go forward with economic stability. We entered the world market to compete and win. It took 2 years to create the base of the journey and we made slow progress. But now is the time to get together and move faster.
Social Empowerment and Welfare Minister SP Dissanayake says that the President and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe will make a decision on Minister Ravi Karunanayake once he appears before the Presidential Commission probing the controversial bond issue on the 2nd of August. Minister Dissanayake made these comments at a media briefing held at the SLFP headquarters this morning.
The former president handed over the party to the president. Now he is trying to break the party with another team. He needs to give the power to someone else after breaking the party into two. He is taking time for one of his own to come to power. I am extremely happy if the former president speaks with the president. I also wish him well. And on the bond issue, we saw that the present government did not allow the investigations to go on. Then the president appointed a special presidential commission. Today it has come to a crucial point. We're waiting for the wrongdoers to be punished. We see the gravity of the information revealed so far. On the 2nd of August, he will appear before the commission. Then the president and the prime minister will make the necessary decisions.
The Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital made history on Monday by successfully performing Sri Lanka's first ever leg transplant on a 32-year-old youth. The 8-hour surgery was performed by 4 medical teams led by vascular and transplant surgeon Dr. Joel Aruchelvam.
The world's first ever leg transplant was done in Canada in 2005. In 2011, a double leg transplant was performed in Spain, while Turkey is also included in the list of countries to perform leg transplants. Sri Lanka achieved this milestone last Monday, successfully transplanting a leg to a youth who lost his in an accident 2 years ago. The transplanted leg came from a 55-year-old brain-dead patient and the surgery was performed with the consent of his family. The family also agreed to donate his kidneys as well.
කකුලේ ක්‍රියාකාරීත්වය බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්න පුළුවන් දනිසෙන් පල්ලය දනිසෙන් උඩ ක්‍රියාකාරීත්වය බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්න පුළුවන් මොකද ඒක ස්නායු සැපීම දැනටත් තියෙන හින්දා මාස 8ක් අවුරුද්දක් වගේ කාලයක් යනකොට මෙයාට සාමාන්‍ය කෙනෙක් විදිහට ඇවිදින්න පුළුවන්.
With that, it's time now to take a look at other stories making news from across Sri Lanka in brief.
Colombo Additional Magistrate J. Ram K. Rusky today ordered the Criminal Investigation Department to expedite investigations to ensure justice for the victimized party in the Wasim Tajuddin case. Former Air Force Commander Harshaduminda Abevikrama was issued his final notice to appear in court today. The Colombo Additional Magistrate stated that the notice will be issued for the final time, requesting him to appear in court on the 2nd of November. Abevikrama is a witness in a case against former mayor of Ampara, Indika Nalin. Lawyers of the Hatton Magistrates Court engaged in a silent protest today at the court premises in disapproval of the Jaffna shooting incident concerning High Court Judge M. Ilanchelian. The lawyers too boycotted court proceedings and engaged in a protest for 1 hour.
Justice Minister Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa points out to the irregularities in the State Investment Promotion Agency, the Board of Investment, classifying it as a redundant institution. However, State Minister Sujiva Senasinghe, under whose ministry the investment agency operates, said otherwise, adding that the BOI will be restructured within a month. The two ministers were part of a panel that discussed transformative solutions to current national challenges at the final session of the Sri Lanka Economic Summit 2017.
Is our legal system fortified to answer somewhat pressing issues to investors?
definitely that there should have been lacuna on their side, that our system is not that bad. Our registration of companies, registration of all these trademarks, it's a matter of a few weeks. Our legal system is in quite good order, but the implementation is the problem. When the BOI was established, it worked properly and it helped to develop our economy. But now it is the reverse of it. Now most of the business community who are trying to do all their business in a legitimate manner are being always obstructed by this BOI registered companies.
Are you going to close that shop then?
In fact, it has to close. We have suggested to close that. That has no use for this country. It's a barrier for economic development in this country.
For the first time.
As the state minister in charge of BO, I think I must say something. I don't want to get into a debate with my colleague, but it's not that bad. The information is not totally correct. There can be instances, may be a leakage, but that is why the legal system is there. They can take legal action on that. As he said, BOI has become more of a regulator, more than a facilitator, and that's what we're trying to change. The attitude has changed. It's not working. So with the Harvard University, the initiative, they're spending about $6 million. So we are trying to give them teeth also.
And at the Colombo Stock Exchange today, little changes were seen as investors sought cues from corporate earnings to set the tone for market activity. Today's market turnover was managed nearly at 800 million rupees, with net foreign buying of 203 million rupees. We now have the daily market update with Imeshu Fernando from the Colombo Stock Exchange.
The benchmark all-share price index lost 0.19 points to close at 6,668.86, while the S&P Sri Lanka 20 index gained 0.28 points to close at 3,830.84. The market capitalization at the end of the day was 3,024.41 billion rupees.
And now on to your currency rates. Sri Lankan rupee fell in early trade today, with the spot rupee trading between 153 rupees and 70 cents and 75 cents per dollar, weaker from yesterday's close of 153 rupees and 55 cents to 65 cents. We take a look at how the rupee traded against other major currencies today. In sports, we have cricket. Sri Lanka is facing an uphill battle against the touring Indian side as the hosts ended the second day of the first test on 154 for the loss of 5 wickets in Galle. Earlier, India resumed their first innings from the overnight score of 399 for 3 and went into a mammoth 600 runs all out.
The second centurion from yesterday, Chiteshwar Pujara, passed the 150-run mark and eventually fell to Nuwan Pradeep. Ajinkya Rahane and Hardik Pandya also chipped in with half-centuries today to help India to a formidable 600 runs, with Shikhar Dhawan yesterday cracking a 168-ball 190. Nuwan Pradeep was the star with the ball for Sri Lanka with figures of 6 for 132. Sri Lanka's reply didn't get off to the best of starts as Dimuth Karunaratne fell for just 2 runs in the second over. His fellow opener Upul Taranga put up some fight with a knock of 64 before being run out, while former captain Angelo Matthews remained unbeaten on 54 at stumps. Sri Lanka will start day 3 on 154 for the loss of 5 wickets.
In news overseas, Israel has taken further steps to try and diffuse their heightened political and religious tension between Palestine and Israel overnight. Last night, Israel removed all security infrastructure it had put in place at Muslim entrances to the Haram al-Sharif compound in Jerusalem's Old City. Thereby, Palestinians returned to the key holy state in Jerusalem for the first time in 2 weeks.
Palestine's Muslim leaders lifted a boycott of the Haram al-Sharif compound in East Jerusalem after Israel removed the last of the security measures last night. Palestinians had fiercely objected to the measures introduced after the killing of 2 Israeli policemen near the site on July 14th. They refrained from entering the old city complex known to Muslims as Haram al-Sharif and to Jews as the Temple Mount in protest over what they called as Israeli attempt to exert control over the contested site.
And in the wake of US President Donald Trump's ban on transgender people serving in the US military, the White House says it has not yet decided as to how it will implement the measures related to the ban.
US President Donald Trump's surprise Twitter announcement yesterday has been met with criticism from rights groups. Protests against the ban is being organized in major cities across US with the participation of thousands. Meanwhile, White House spokesperson Sarah Sanders said the administration would work alongside the Pentagon to decide how to proceed. It is not yet clear how the announcement will affect current transgender service personnel in the country.
And now we cross over to the Weather Center for your latest on the weather and how the weather will perform in the next 24 hours.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather Centre. Now, a slight change in the prevailing weather can be expected in the southwestern part of the island and in the eastern and Uva provinces tomorrow. With fairly strong winds forecasted in the southern province, rain can also be expected in the western, central and Sabaraguma provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts. Now, temperatures may also vary between 21 to 36 degrees Celsius across major cities in the country. Now, let's take a look now at your city-by-city forecast.
With that, we wrap up tonight's edition of your Prime Time News, first at 9. And before we go, we'd like to take you to a Mexican city where the local chefs made the longest torta sandwich in Latin America. Pieces of the 67-meter-long record-breaking sandwich was later distributed among hundreds who had gathered to watch its preparations. We leave you with these visuals. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.
The news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Derana, 24/7.